Yo, America, we all chase the dream, right? Big house, fancy car, vacations in Mykonos. We think success equals happiness. But what if I told you that often it's the opposite? Imagine reaching the mountaintop, but the view is lonely. You're surrounded by gold, but it feels cold. This is the reality for many of America's elite. They trade everyday struggles for a new set of problems. Think intense pressure, lack of privacy, and the constant fear of losing it all. Suddenly, those golden handcuffs feel a little tight. Let's be real, nobody wants to hear a millionaire complain. But understanding their struggles sheds light on a bigger issue: the human cost of extreme wealth and the illusion of success. Here's a tough question. How do you know if someone likes you for you or your money? This is a daily dilemma for the wealthy. Every relationship comes with a side of suspicion. Imagine being J.D. Rockefeller, rolling up to the bodega. Is the cashier being nice or just hoping for a big tip? It's like living in a constant episode of Undercover Boss. This constant uncertainty breeds isolation. It's hard to connect when you doubt everyone's intentions. How do you build genuine relationships when your net worth precedes you? Studies show that wealthy individuals often have smaller, less intimate social circles. This makes sense. It's lonely at the top when you can't trust who's there for the right reasons. Remember that friend who borrowed $20 and never returned it? Now imagine that friend asking for $1 million loan. This is the scale of trust issues the elite deal with. Every handshake could be a business deal gone wrong. Every friendly encounter could be a masked opportunity. It's enough to make anyone paranoid. They say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy security. Ironically, the ultra-wealthy often feel less secure. They're constantly on guard, protecting their assets and their hearts. This lack of trust extends beyond personal relationships. It impacts their view of the world, often leading to cynicism and a sense of detachment from the everyday struggles of average Americans. We've all heard the saying, "Money can't buy happiness." Turns out, it's not entirely true. Studies show that up to a certain income level, happiness does increase with wealth. But beyond that, the effect plateaus. Think of it like eating pizza. The first few slices are amazing, but after a while you hit a wall. You might even feel sick. Money is kinda like that. Sure, a yacht is cool, but it doesn't fix relationship issues, cure loneliness, or bring inner peace. In fact, the pursuit of wealth can sometimes distract us from what truly matters. The real question is, can you be happy with less? Because for many of the super rich, the answer seems to be a resounding, not really. Section 5. Behind the velvet rope: social isolation in a crowded room. Ever been to an exclusive party where everyone's dressed to the nines but no one's talking? It's a strange paradox, isn't it? You'd think that being surrounded by so many people would make you feel connected, but often it does the exact opposite. That's the social life of the elite in a nutshell. They are constantly in the spotlight, yet they often feel like they're in the shadows. They attend galas, fundraisers, and VIP events. These gatherings are meant to be the epitome of social interaction, but they often fall short. Yet, genuine connection remains elusive. It's as if everyone is wearing a mask, hiding their true selves behind a facade of wealth and status. It's like a never-ending cycle of small talk and superficial interactions. Conversations rarely go beyond the surface, leaving a void that no amount of luxury can fill. It's not that they don't want real connections. In fact, many of them crave it deeply. It's that their wealth creates an invisible barrier. This barrier makes it difficult for them to trust others and for others to see them as just another human being. People treat them differently, putting them on a pedestal, or worse, seeing them as a walking ATM. This kind of treatment only deepens their sense of isolation. This isolation can be incredibly isolating. It's a loneliness that is hard to describe, but easy to feel. Imagine living in a gilded cage, surrounded by luxury, but starved for authentic human interaction. The walls may be adorned with gold, but they are still walls. It's a high price to pay for success, a price that many are willing to pay, but few truly understand until they are already trapped within it. Section 6. Fear and Loathing in Silicon Valley. The Paranoia of Power. Silicon Valley is the epicenter of innovation, ambition, and, let's face it, a healthy dose of paranoia. Here, the brightest minds converge to push the boundaries of technology, but with great power comes great anxiety. These tech moguls are playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. Every move is calculated, every decision scrutinized, as they navigate a landscape that changes by the minute. They're not just worried about money, they're worried about the future. The stakes are incredibly high, and the pressure to stay ahead is relentless. They're surrounded by brilliant minds, all vying for the top spot. In this environment, collaboration and competition are two sides of the same coin. It's a cutthroat world where today's innovator is tomorrow's has-been. The fear of obsolescence is ever present, driving them to constantly innovate or risk being left behind. This constant pressure creates a culture of fear and distrust. Employees are always looking over their shoulders, wondering if they're the next to be replaced. It's no wonder they're investing in underground bunkers and escape plans. The fear of losing everything drives them to prepare for the worst-case scenarios. This paranoia extends beyond the tech world. High security measures and personal bodyguards are now the norm for these elite individuals. It's a common thread among the elite, a constant reminder that their position is precarious, and someone is always waiting to take their place. In this high-stakes game, the fear of losing power is as strong as the desire to gain it. Section 7. The price of privilege. When success becomes a burden. For many, the pursuit of success is a lifelong journey filled with hard work and sacrifice. But what happens when that success becomes a double-edged sword? Let's be clear. This isn't about feeling sorry for rich people. It's about recognizing the complex layers that come with extreme wealth. It's about understanding the unintended consequences of extreme wealth and the price of privilege. The lavish homes, the exclusive neighborhoods, they all come with a hidden cost. When you're constantly shielded from the realities of everyday life, living in gated communities and frequenting exclusive clubs, it's easy to become detached. You find yourself in a bubble, isolated from the world outside. You lose touch with the struggles of ordinary people, the daily grind that most people face, and your problems start to seem trivial in comparison. The minor inconveniences of a privileged life can overshadow the real issues faced by the majority. This detachment can lead to a lack of empathy and a sense of entitlement. When you don't see the struggles, it's easy to ignore them. It's easy to forget where you came from when you're flying private and vacationing in Aspen. The luxuries become the norm, and the past becomes a distant memory. The real tragedy is that this isolation ultimately hurts everyone. The wealthy may find themselves in large, empty homes, feeling a sense of loneliness despite their riches. It creates a divide between the haves and the have-nots, a chasm that grows wider with each passing day, fueling resentment and social unrest. The societal fabric begins to tear, leading to protests and a divided community. The price of privilege is not just personal, it's a burden on society as a whole. Section 8. Finding meaning beyond the mansion. The search for authenticity. So what's the solution? Should we all feel bad for billionaires? Nah, that's not it. But we can learn from their struggles. The key is to redefine success. It's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about finding meaning and purpose in life. It's about using your privilege to make a positive impact on the world. Some of the wealthiest individuals are already doing this. They're using their platforms to advocate for social change, supporting charities, and investing in their communities. It's about realizing that true happiness comes from connection, purpose, and making a difference. It's about leaving the world a better place than you found it. Section 9. The true measure of success. Redefining wealth in the 21st century. As we move further into the 21st century, it's time to rethink our definition of wealth. It's not just about money, it's about our values, our relationships, and our contributions to society. Imagine a world where success is measured not by the size of our bank accounts, but by the positive impact we have on the world. It's a world where we value empathy over greed, community over isolation, and purpose over profit. It might sound idealistic, but hey, if we're going to dream, Let's dream big. Because in the end, the true measure of our success is not what we accumulate, but what we leave behind.